And our experience has been that the social cash transfer specifically has had unprecedented results. I think we've had situations where in a lot of places the little money, seemingly little money that's given to households actually have gone a long way to improve things like food consumption at household level. Of course, not necessarily nutrition, but also ownership of assets. Surprisingly, in that little money, households are able to acquire livestock, and which enhances their value at the household level. But we've also seen that the households that have had accessed such support, probably because food situation has improved, so you have kids from those households attending school regularly. I'm not sure of the performance, but at least the situation improves. So the results are enormous and visible. And a classic example is one day we're presenting before Parliament, and Parliament wanted to know, look, what's the way forward for the poor in Zambia? And the classic situation was when one parliamentarian actually told us to say in his constituency, the people who receive the fertilizer support program, which is like a bigger aspect of the social protection programs, actually they said that they are demanding to receive the social cash transfer, which is way less compared to the subsidy of farming. Why? It's because of the results that are visible in the social cash transfer, that somebody would rather receive less money and see what it can do than receive seed and fertilizer, which probably has a lot of issues in terms of low production and the like. When you want to scale up all these programs, you are drawing money from one basket, and this is a basket which has a lot of competing needs. And at the time, especially now, in the past few years, we've accumulated quite a bit of foreign debt and domestic as well. So government has huge obligations to service this debt on a yearly basis. And the situation is, so you have the social sector not receiving as much as it should. So in terms of the social cash transfer, as much as you'd want to help as many poor people as possible, there are these constraints in terms of resources. So what we've experienced really is, look, we have a government that is willing to help the poor. You want to give as many as you can, but resources don't allow. So we've had the numbers of people to benefit increasing, but then they have not been met with the commitment to disburse the actual money because of budget constraints. Between 2014 and 2015, actually 2013 and 2014, there was like 700% increase in the budget, which was like really huge. And over these years, we've seen a gradual increase. So the budget amounts in terms of commitments have been on the rise over time, and it's exciting. It's promising. The only issue is we always want to encourage the government to back commitments with actual disbursement of resources. You have one resource envelope, and everything should come from this envelope. And we also have a general problem of a narrow tax base, meaning that government doesn't collect as much money as you'd want. So really the idea has been to try to maximize with the little resources that you have. You basically ensure what you give out is actually reaching as many people as you can, and it's having impact. And speaking for the social cash transfer, I think it's been a classic example for social protection programs in terms of the targeting is well defined and less ambiguous compared to other programs. But in terms of innovative financing, there hasn't been much. And we are still relying on what comes in government revenue. We take out a bit, competing with other needs. There's one big lesson to learn from Zambia. Usually these programs like social cash transfers suffer from the issues of vague targeting. You really don't know who is poor and who you want to target. The fact of the matter is there are so many poor people. Really, there are so many poor people, and if you have limited resources, when you can't reach everyone, you want to prioritize the ones with the most needs. Okay, so like in the Zambian situation, you want to target households that are headed by the elderly, okay, and you want to target households that are female-headed households, also those households that have orphans and the like. Now, what has worked for Zambia is that the targeting is done in such a way that at the grassroots, the selection involves people at the grassroots. So in terms of identifying who qualifies and who doesn't qualify, you actually have local people helping government identify the most needed people within the community. So if there's anything to learn from Zambia is the targeting. I think it's been done quite well, and resources permitting, you can scale it up nicely because it's very clear who needs support.